There may be many things in life where it may come up where you need to get a lawyer. Well, when it comes to picking a lawyer, how do you know which one to choose? What are some of the things that you should be looking for? Well, one question in particular that we're going to dive into this morning. We're happy to welcome back Brian Shrader with Shrader Law this morning. And the question is, which I'm so glad we're discussing, because I don't think I've interviewed, several lawyers throughout the years. I told you before we got started, and I don't know if this question gets brought up enough or if people understand this. But payments, how do lawyers get paid? This is a question, Brian, that I really feel needs to be brought up more.
Sure, Carly, and thanks for having me again. When people are picking a lawyer, they certainly have plenty of options. And even just driving down the road, they see the billboards, they see the advertisements. But what they need to understand is when they hire an attorney, that's a contractual relationship. Now, I like to think that every client is a friend and becomes almost part of the family. But this is my livelihood, and I do have to make business decisions. And so what a lot of people don't understand is that there are multiple ways an attorney can get paid. And generally, the type of case dictates how those payments are made. So, for example, in a criminal case, state court criminal case, it's very common for an attorney to work off of a flat rate. So a client comes in, they discusses their problem with their attorney, and their attorney says, this is how much work I think is involved, and this is how much I want to be paid. Now, it's very important in flat rate cases to understand if there are any hidden fees. For example, some attorneys charge an extra fee to go to trial, or they may charge an extra fee to file a motion. We don't, because I don't think a client should ever make a decision to go to trial or not to go to trial based on whether they can afford to pay more money. But it's important that all of those fees are disclosed up front and clients understand that. A second type of payment arrangement with an attorney that's not very common and for consumers, but is common for more of like a business practice, would be a billable hour retainer. And that's when you're paying an attorney by the hour. And so the attorney will set an hourly rate, and then based on the number of hours of work, usually measured by the 10th of the hour, the attorney will send a bill each month. They may require that some money be put into an account for them to bill against. And then the final type of retainer that's very common in a personal injury claim, and this enables attorneys to say things that people have probably heard on commercials, like you don't pay us $1 unless you get paid, would be a contingency fee agreement. And these are agreements where attorneys agree to do all of the work and usually front a lot of the costs. And in the end, they will get paid, reimbursed for their costs and paid for their time by taking a percentage of any settlement or recovery after a trial. And it's important for consumers to understand that the attorneys are going to take potentially a 33 1/3% for any pretrial or pre-filing negotiations, and sometimes up to 40% if the case gets filed. And they need to be comfortable with that because it's going to impact the amount of money that the consumer themselves actually receives.
Anything else that we need to be, when you're deciding for the lawyer, any other questions that should be asked kind of right up front? And certainly with cost, I would imagine too. I don't know if you can ask for other examples or what the average is for a particular case. Obviously, each case is going to be different.
Yeah, every case is different. And what's important when you're speaking to an attorney is when you call, you should be able to set an initial consultation. And we don't charge for consultations. Some attorneys do. But that consultation is an important moment. It's kind of like a job interview.
Yeah.
It's a job interview both so that you can interview whether the attorney is appropriate for your case, but also so that the attorney can determine whether it's a case they want to take. And during that interview, that attorney should be able to give you a fairly detailed, reasonable expectation about what is going to happen in your case, about what type of outcome there should be. But you should be careful. Any attorney who makes any promises, for example, I know that there are some of my colleagues out there who say, hey, you hire me for your criminal case, I guarantee to get dismissed, or I guarantee I'll get a bond reduction. That attorney is lying to you right from the start, and you don't want to hire an attorney like that. Or if they say, I guarantee you'll get a quick settlement in your personal injury case, they're lying because there's no way they could know. Every case is different, and there is absolutely no way to predict what's going to happen in any specific case at that stage of the game. So if you hear an attorney make a guarantee, get out of there, avoid them. They're clearly someone who's willing to deceive you in order to get you to sign up and get your money.
We've been showing your website, your phone number. I'm so happy to hear that you do those consultations for free. And it's a long lasting relationship, and you really need to make sure that both you and the client, I think, can work well together. So I love that you do that. But thank you so much for your time this morning, Brian. Again, I think this is great info to get out there. I don't know if it's talked about enough, but again, there is the website and number. So good to see you again. You take care.